Millennials are drinking less. I know who I am. What are your reasons? Wait, what the? Is that true? Are millennials drinking less? I mean, maybe, because they're more informed on alcohol. I was having a nice picnic with a small group of dear friends today. Most of them are in their 50s, 60s. Those are Gen X. Where's this going? As my husband and I were mostly passing on the rounds of drinks being offered, the conversation veered on the fact that millennials as groups tend to drink less. That's why we have observed in our peers, and our friends had also remarked. They asked us what we thought the reasons were behind it. For us, we got to identify a few things. A, we have started increasingly caring about being healthy for the long haul. Oh yeah, no, dead ass. Drinking doesn't really fit well with that priority. That's true. And the more I learned about the effect of alcohol in the body, the less I want it. It's also linked to the fear due to diminishing access, quality of healthcare services. Oh yeah, no, I understand that for sure. Stuff like that is also why I decided not to try alcohol till I turned 25, because I want my brain to finish developing. And even then, I'm not even sure if I'm going to want to try alcohol when I turn 25. I may decide it's not my thing, I don't know. B, I have increasingly bad hangovers that sometimes lingers for days. Oh shit. Even with fairly limited amounts of alcohol, it's really not worth it to me nursing one right now. After a few drinks at a picnic, yuck, ouch. Yeah, no, I get that, because there's just some people that just can't do it with alcohol, so it's cool if you can't. I find myself slipping in behaviors I don't like when I drink more than 1 to 2 drinks. Oh, okay, nothing dramatic, but it's harder to respect my own limits and other people's, and I'd rather not be that person. It goes from feeding myself crappy food at later hours to being a bit too harsh while trying to be funny. Actually, that's the other thing I wonder, because there's like some people out there that talk about like one of the reasons they don't drink as much, why they stop drinking, so they said that like alcohol turns them into like a different person or whatever. And I genuinely wonder, because like, there's people out there who are very moral people, but they get enough alcohol in them and they'll become like completely different people. I genuinely wonder like how that affects your morality, because like I genuinely wonder if the alcohol be like making you do things you would not normally do when you're sober. I wonder if that's either number one, if that's showing a side of you that is actually part of you when you're sober, but you don't show it because you're conscious and you wouldn't dare show it when you're conscious, or if it just causes a chemical difference in the brain that makes you want to do things you would normally never want to do. I genuinely wonder. I don't know. I used to enjoy drinking nice alcohol products in moderation, craft beers, nice cocktails, original liquors, and even that is losing its appeal quite fast. Curious about other people's experiences. Are you finding yourself drinking less? If so, what are your reasons for it? These are all solid questions. I think it's cool that like the research and the personal aspects are brought up in here, because I think, genuinely speaking, because the younger generations like millennials and Gen Z, and to a smaller degree Gen Alpha, because Gen Alpha is still growing up, I feel like they tend to do much more research than Gen Xers and Boomers and all that stuff. So when they do the research, I feel like it makes them either more inclined or less inclined for certain things, because you know more about it going into it, so, and you've had time to actually process the research. So there's a saying that like a drunk person's actions are a sober person's thoughts or something like that. I know, yeah, and I think that could be true sometimes, but I genuinely wonder how true that is, because I do genuinely wonder how many people are like honestly not that moral, but they're good at hiding it because they're conscious, and then once they get a drink in them, their consciousness is like decreased, and so it comes out. Or how many people are actually moral people and like they would never ever want to do something bad, but they get a drink in them that causes a chemical reaction in the brain that makes them want to do said things that they would never want to do without alcohol. You know what I'm saying? And I guess it's different depending on each person what their brain does, and everybody's brain is different, but it genuinely makes me wonder what percentage of the time it amounts to with different people. It's interesting. Money makes you fat, hurts sleeping, and ruins your next day. That's funny. I have 2 young kids now. I have 2 kids now. I think they meant 2 young kids, and a solid night's sleep is probably the best feeling in the world. Oh yeah, I also feel like people are bound to drink less if they have kids, because if you have kids are a huge responsibility, and you don't want to be drunk or hungover when dealing with your kids, and also you don't want your kids to see you during those stages, because you want to be a good example on your kids, you know. And yeah, I mean, I'm not going on anybody, and everybody's different with alcohol, but I feel like if you're a parent, you don't want to be drinking all the time. You don't want to drink so much that your kids become desensitized to the idea of drinking. 34 now, so that's a mid millennial, not mid as in a mid person, but like a mid-age range for a millennial. And now spent most of my 20s going out Thursday, Saturday nights. Oh, yikes, blacking out and having a good time. I did put that in quotations, so they're not actually having fun. LOL, yeah. Realizing a few years ago I could be a real liability when I drink too much. I don't want to be that person anymore. Yeah, no, those are all valid reasons to not want to drink as much. I'll have some beers, wines here and there, completely cut out hard liquor. I respect that, but never enough to get me drunk. I'm discovering new hobbies and adjusting nicely to being a homebody. Okay, it feels good to be back in control. Yeah, and I respect that. And even what I was saying earlier about, like, I made the choice that I wasn't going to try alcohol till I turned 25. That's just me personally. I think it depends for each person. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with a 21-year-old trying alcohol. But, like, if you're getting blackout drunk all the time, especially when you have an underdeveloped brain, I don't think that's good. I don't think there should be any laws that tell you don't do it, because I'm pretty libertarian about stuff like that. But I think that I think people should still be educated on alcohol and the complexity of it, because I think you should at least know what you're putting into your body before you do it. And if you decide to fuck up your health because of it, that's your choice. But you should, like, know what you're getting into when you're doing that. It's the same with smoking. You know, smoking is pretty much not good for you at all. And if you want to ruin your life by going and smoking, that's your prerogative. But I think you should still know what you're getting yourself into before you do it, you know? So I like drinking, but it doesn't go well with my fitness goals, which are a higher priority. Yeah, no, especially if you're big into fitness, you won't want to drink all the time, because number one, it can really fuck with your energy levels in regards to fitness. But also, if I'm not mistaken, when you drink alcohol, your body breaks it down into pure sugar. And if you're trying to be fit, but breaking a huge portion of your hydration down into sugar is not a good idea. To be honest, it probably does, like, just about the same amount as sugar to your body as drinking a bunch of juice does, I would think. 'Cause I feel like you're just putting pure sugar into your body. So yeah, if you want six-pack abs, drinking alcohol is probably not the way to go. There's a reason why guys with big bellies, they call them beer bellies, or why they call them dad bods. There's a reason why they call them that. My dad was an alcoholic before I was born, but still, I followed this route, almost lost everything. I had to stop. I'm not the only one in general. My age range and community experience some version of that. It is good to be educated, and that's also why I said that, like, even though I'll wait till I turn 25 to try alcohol, so I'm waiting until my brain finishes developing. I'm not counting down the days to when I turn 25. So to be honest, when I turn 25, there might be a decent chance that I might decide, you know what, I don't want to try alcohol. It really depends. I don't know. It also depends on the scenario. And it's like, it's also that thing where it's like this. Now, mind you, this is a hard thing to shoot for, because things do happen, but not only do I vow to try alcohol after my brain finishes developing, not only have I made that decision, but I also vow to never get drunk in my life. Now, mind you, I'm not sure if that's actually going to happen, because that's hard to do, and some people can't control their alcohol, and, you know, so it's like, we'll see if that happens. But I think it's an admirable goal to have, to not get drunk in my life, because the way I see it, there's really no reason to get drunk. Because a lot of times when people get drunk, it's because they have problems and they want to, like, get away from them. And so if they get drunk, it distracts them for a while, but then you got a hell of a hangover. So it's like, I agree, yeah. And the way that people describe hangovers makes me never want to get drunk, because they talk about the headaches afterwards and, like, the throwing up and as someone who, like, is very, especially as a person with ADHD, I do not like the idea of existing outside of my own body in a mental sense. And so I feel like not getting drunk is a great way to avoid that, you know? So that's just my take. I still think that you should be allowed to do what you want. I am pretty libertarian about these things. So also in regards to drugs, to be honest, I myself don't want to try drugs, but to be completely honest, I don't have a super strong opinion on whether or not drugs should be legal or illegal, because it's such a gray, complex topic health-wise, but also morally speaking and legally speaking, that, like, I don't have an opinion on it. So I'm pretty libertarian in regards to what you put in your body. Like, I think if you want to put something that you shouldn't put in your body, if you want to do it, that's your prerogative. However, I would strongly advise that you don't do it, and I would strongly advise that you think long and hard before doing it, you know? So yeah, and I would also strongly advise that you do research before you do it, so you don't go f***ing everything up. I love this person's comment of, we have cannabis. Everything that I just talked about alcohol, you can say the same stuff about cannabis, because cannabis affects everybody differently. The only difference is, though, is that cannabis can't kill you. Alcohol can kill you if you drink enough and you get into alcohol poisoning, or if you drink enough alcohol that you get alcoholic dementia or you get liver cancer. Yeah, that can happen, but cannabis cannot give you cancer and it can't kill you. Now, mind you, that doesn't mean it's 100% safe, because if you start smoking cannabis while your brain is not finished developing, you can have cognitive problems and memory issues, and it can lead to developmental problems in the brain. But if you're 25 and your brain is fully developed, it's really your choice, and it won't cause any mental damage to your brain. However, the way that cannabis affects you as a person with a developed brain is completely different. So like there's some people who can smoke marijuana and like they'll feel okay, and there's other people who can smoke marijuana and it'll really fuck with them. So it all really depends on the person. It really does. And also depends how much you do and what amount of time. We talked about alcohol way longer than I anticipated to. That's pretty funny. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy Nick here, and I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I wanted to say a couple things real quick. So the first thing I wanted to say is thank you so much for watching the video. If you made it this far, definitely make sure to drop a like, because it would really help out. Another thing I wanted to announce is that I have been streaming consistently on Twitch for the last 2 months. And I know that some of you guys have still not followed me on Twitch, so I'd really appreciate if some of you guys go follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/bulkyourpanda370. We're getting really close to hitting 50 followers, which means that we're close to becoming a Twitch affiliate, and I cannot wait for that to happen. And I would love to see some of you guys over there. And another announcement that I wanted to make now with the summer upon us is that I am going to be changing my streaming schedule just a little bit. So I will still be streaming every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. However, I am now going to be picking up Saturdays, and I'm also going to start streaming a little bit earlier. From now on, for the rest of the summer, I'm going to be streaming from 3 p.m. to about 5 or 6 p.m. somewhere around there. But yeah, I will be streaming every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time at twitch.tv/bulkyourpanda370. So I hope to see some of you guys there. And since you guys made it this far into the video, go comment mango lemonade to go confuse people. Guys, thank you so much as always for watching the video. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you guys in a future stream or in a future video, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.